Good evening, one and all, and welcome to the Toon Review for this evening's Blackburn Rovers versus Newcastle United match preview. It is, of course, the FA Cup fifth round. We are literally 2 games away from getting back to Wembley, of course, with the semi-finals taking place at Wembley, whether you like that or not. That is a fact. If you do enjoy tonight's show, guys, as usual, please give it the thumbs up. Very important that we keep those coming in on the channel. And, of course, if you're new and you like what you see, come and subscribe. We are heading towards 28,000 subscribers at a rapid pace now, and with your help, we will get there sooner rather than later. But don't forget to hit the notification bell as well, which will let you know when we schedule any of these live shows or we upload any recorded ones. And as usual, you can become a member of the Toon Review if you do so wish by hitting the join button just underneath the 3 of us. And of course, you can donate to the channel by hitting that $sign at the bottom of the live comments, and that will guarantee your comment to be read out live on the show. Annie, thank you very much for your early super chat. That is very kind, my friend, and hope you're well, Annie. Haven't spoken to you for a while. Hope you're doing okay. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Hello.
And how are we feeling now ahead of the game? Because I said on the morning show today that I think this game becomes massive for Newcastle United. Billy?
I think it's a good time for us to get back together and reunite as a team and
yep.
Put right what went wrong Saturday. I think it's a fantastic opportunity for that, and I hope we take advantage of it.
Now, the word talking in the press conference, Billy, I was quite happy with what Eddie said about this, that they want to get back on the pitch straight away and put things right. There was a bit of a steely determination when he said that.
Well, it's the perfect scenario for him, really, after having such a terrible performance Saturday. The thing you want to do is get back on the bike and put it right, and I've got no doubt they will do that. I expect to see changes in the side. I expect to see changes in the attitude, and I expect to see a convincing win, if I'm perfectly honest.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing, isn't it, Alex? We need to score some goals, get the confidence back. This is the perfect opportunity to do it, you know, backed by 7,000 Geordies away behind the goal there at Ewood Park tomorrow. So, you know, there's going to be a good atmosphere there from a Newcastle point of view. And it's very important that we, you know, bounce back, isn't it? Because we need the confidence back.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be a good game. I think it's a good game for everyone. I know we need to obviously win it, but I like Blackburn as a club. I mean, it's the Shearer derby. They were quite a mainstay in the Premier League for a long time, and it's a bit weird that they're not kind of around. However, that it's not been going great for them, and it's a good opportunity, like you said, to right the wrong, to maybe get 3 or 4 better performances out of players. Although you say that was what Sunderland was for. And look where we are now. I think the only difference is we've got returning players, more returning players, which is helpful. Obviously, Targett and Anderson, Eddie touched on them in the press conference today, touched on Pope briefly, and then we've got Willock and Isak back. So better, you know, rotate Lascelles in, he's playing all right. So it's Sunderland, but with more returning players, and we can't be any worse than we were against Arsenal. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to the game. It'll be decent.
Now, we have had a few people have noticed, Billy, that the press conference today, Eddie looked a bit sort of jaded, a bit down. Didn't seem his usual upbeat self. Did you make anything of that?
I just think he's a bit ashamed of the performance his side put out Saturday. And quite rightly as well. It was not an Eddie Howe team's performance. What I expect to see from an Eddie Howe team, at the very least, is 100% effort. And we didn't get that Saturday, and I think that will be weighing heavily on his shoulders. I think he'll be disappointed with how they performed. He'll be disgusted by it, and he's got under pressure to put it right pretty quickly, I think. So I think he'll be happy. I think he'll be happy to get back on that pitch, as he alluded to himself. But Saturday's game is still pretty clear in the memory. And until we get back to winning ways again, it'll stay that way, won't it?
Yeah. Now, you know, during the press conference, Alex obviously covered this on the Reaction Live, but you know, he said some positive stuff about Joe Linton's contract as well, which was good stuff. Nice to hear that they are working on that, and I think the fact that you know, Amanda and Darren Eales, etc., are now working with him on the contract, and it's not Dan Ashworth, of course. So some people have taken that as a very, very big plus point. But on Nick Pope, it doesn't seem like Nick Pope's going to be back anytime soon. I'm pretty much said this morning that I don't expect Nick Pope to be back this season, to be honest. And I'd rather he stayed out, you know, to make sure he's 100%. I think Anderson coming back soon, and of course Matty Targett were the two players that he mentioned that would be back very soon. And I think that's as far as we see for players coming back for a considerable amount of time. So that's probably the full squad he's going to have pretty much towards the end of the season now. But that's providing we don't pick up any more injuries.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why he was downbeat. He's an absolute winner. He hates losing, and that losing in that manner, I'm sure he was appalled by it. And yeah, in terms of returning players, I don't know if Nick Pope's season's done. I would disagree with that. I think we're still early days. You know, we've still got a few days left of Feb. You know, the
only reason I say that, Alex, is because
so...
he said, yeah, but the only reason I say that is because he said he's still doing mainly gym work. And,
yeah,
you know, for a goalkeeper,
yeah, but you know, if he has 5 more weeks off, he can still play April and May. So there are games, and again, we're looking now. I think our eyes very much turn to 7th, possibly even 8th place as a minimum, purely based on the coefficients of European teams and the English teams. We might get that 5th spot. You know, Liverpool winning the Carabao Cup does us a favour. We might be in a situation, it's not currently like that, but we may be in a situation where 8th place gets you Conference League. And we obviously want to be getting at least something European just to help with getting used to the fixtures, how the season's meant to pan out for our squad. That'll be very, very useful. It will give us some away days as a fan base. It's really, really important. It'll give us extra match days for additional revenue. So that's really, really important. So I think if we can get Nick Pope back for 4, 5, 6, 7 matches, that's enormous. That could give us an extra place in the table and get us Europa League instead of Conference League. It could be absolutely massive. So it is really, really important we get some of these players back as quickly as possible. Primarily the first teamers, who generally are one of the first names on the team sheet, i.e. Pope. Yeah.
Mary, thank you very much for gifting 5 Toon Review memberships. That's incredibly kind. Thank you so much. And Toon Gamer, thank you for your super chat. He says, Lascelles, Tino, Hall, Willock and Murphy start, please. Ian says here that I'd love to see Longstaff rested. He looked tired, and I wonder if we could try Almiron to play there and Murphy on the wing. I don't think any of us are a fan of Almiron Billy coming into the middle.
No, he's not strong enough, is he? He's just not strong enough. He's got some nice touches, but his passing ability ain't great. He doesn't get his head up. Not for me. We play him as a 10, but not as an 8. But we don't play with a 10, so midfield's a no for me.
Now, he also said that Dubravka may well or may well not be still ill. I want to see Karius, guys. I really do. I think, you know, Loris Karius has done nothing to deserve to be dropped. He's come in, and for me, he looks a lot more steadier than Dubravka does. And I really would be disappointed if Dubravka just walks straight back into the side.
Yeah, I agree with that. As far as I'm concerned, right, this is a massive... I don't normally rush to decisions like this, but based on that one performance, I'm early doors keen on try and get 1 or 2 mil for Dubravka in the summer and keep Karius and extend his contract. And then we need and Gillespie needs to go as well. I'm not having this £10,000 a week to be a cheerleader thing when we've got... You can't have Dummett and Richie and Gillespie. Fine, they might be great voices in the dressing room, but you can't be paying upwards of £100,000 a week for cheerleaders. You know, we can have some, but not that many. So Gillespie and Dubravka, I think, need to be off, and we need to try and promote some youth goalkeepers, or, you know, we can't have 4 goalkeepers in the squad that are all 30 and above. You need some younger keepers. I think Karius has shown, obviously, it's early days. It was 1 performance. We're going to need to see more of that from him. But his sweeping is fine. His shot stopping looks okay. He's okay with the ball at his feet. We know there are some calamity things in there, which I think is a little bit unfair because he played a lot that season when that happened and there were no issues. I think it'd just be better for the squad. And again, apologies to people who like Gillespie and stuff. I'm sure he's a lovely man, but we need to tighten the purse strings a little bit and try and free up so we can make additions to the squad. And I want players in the squad that are going to play football. What's the point otherwise? It makes no sense.
Yeah, I agree. We have another new member. That is James Taylor. James, thank you very much for signing up to the membership and welcome to the Toon Review family.
Can I just say something about Karius?
Absolutely, yeah.
I think it should be his shirt now to the end of the season, to whenever Pope's fit. That should be his shirt now. And give him a run of games, see how he goes. Actually looking at him and the fact that Eddie sees him in training every day, and the goalkeeping coach sees him every day, that it's amazing. It amazes me actually why he wasn't picked straight away once Pope got injured, because his style is virtually similar to Nick Pope's, and it's a seamless transition for me. I'm amazed they didn't do that there and then.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I really do. I think it's time for Karius to have a run. Dubes has had his run. He's conceded a lot of goals. Whether that's his fault or not, the fact is his stats don't match up to Nick Pope's anywhere near the amount of goals conceded. So, Peter, good evening, matey. Miggy can't play as a centre midfielder. Bruce played him there, and it didn't work at all. Yes, he did. I remember that, and it was a complete failure. Kevin says, hi, Paul, Billy, of course, Alex, love your show. Wish you did Sunderland matches from an SAFC fan. Wow. Okay. Thank you very much and welcome. Thank you for...
See, this is what I mean. The whole Northeast as a whole needs to band together to a point. But yeah, maybe go on some of your Sunderland YouTube channels and tell them just to do better.
Well, to be fair, we are looking at doing a Northeast football show once a week. So that is in the sort of very early stages. We're getting some representatives from Middlesbrough and Sunderland. I'm working on that behind the scenes. So once a week Northeast football show, which will just cover not just the big three, but also the lower down the league teams as well. But
not just the big three, the small two.
I wasn't going to say that, Alex. I was trying to be nice, but as usual, you throw a spanner in the works. But there you go. Mixers evening team. Hope you're all well. And if our players don't pull their fingers out and play to their ability, we will lose this game. They are the only ones who can turn this around once they run out on the pitch. I agree with that as well. Kyle Crouch, welcome to Members Club. Thank you very much for signing up and welcome to the membership family. Frank says he wants to see Barnes, Willock, Murphy and Karius all playing tomorrow. Dylan says the way Eddie Howe speaks on Karius and Dubravka, I think Dubravka walks in, unfortunately. That's exactly my feeling as well, Dylan. The way he talked about Dubravka being ill and the fact that he might be available again tomorrow, that was the worrying thing to me, that he's going to walk straight back in the side. And I totally disagree with that. But again, that's Eddie's decision at the end of the day. He'll live and die by the decisions he makes. This one would be a big one for me, considering how well I thought Karius controlled that penalty area against Arsenal. Even though we conceded 4 goals, look beyond that. Look at the amount of times he came off his line. He cleared the ball. He swept up very, very nicely. That puts more confidence for me into your back four, rather than you're not sure if the goalkeeper's going to be there or not, which is the case with Dubravka a lot of the time. CJ says, I wouldn't be surprised if Blackburn put 3 past us and beat us. Well, look, I've just seen another comment earlier on saying that, Blackburn, they played Cardiff last weekend. It was a very, very poor game. Blackburn aren't playing very well. Neither are we. So one of us has got to turn up tomorrow night, surely. And you would expect it to be the Premier League side. But this is the FA Cup. And the FA Cup is, we've seen it over the hundreds of years that the FA Cup's been around. It's very, very strange sometimes, the results you see. And this is why we have to be on our game tomorrow. And this is why I think Eddie will put a very strong side out, because we need to do something. We need a cup run. And this cup run we're on could get us quite far. Let's be honest. We're not far away. Jan, thank you for your super chat. He says, I would love to see Joe Linton, Bruno, Sandro, Paqueta, Willock, Alfie, Miley, Minte as our basic midfield for next season. Yes. I can't not disagree with that, Jan. That, those players available for our midfield next season.
Well, Minte won't play in the midfield.
Well, no, but I can see what he's getting at, Alex. Just the fact that he's got like Alfie Harrison there, Miley as well. Good blend of youth and experience there.
We'd also have to buy Paqueta for this to be a thing. But yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Len, thank you for your super chat. I only want Karius to play the final at Wembley and end up above Manchester United. It's not much to ask. No. Nathan says, sorry about my messages earlier. If you've seen them, Paul, just how I seen things last night, all over with now, loving the show tonight. Look, it's fine. And Abs has actually left a message to say there's no hard feelings. Abs wasn't bullied. was disappointed, but with Abs, it doesn't matter anymore. It's gone. Abs is a big part of the channel. And Abs did state that the Toon Review is the only show she watches. It's the best channel on YouTube. Very complimentary. So that says a lot about the person as well, to be honest. So thank you for leaving that comment as well, Abs, if you're watching. Really appreciated that. It's all gone anyway. Sod it. Anthony Stafford, good evening to you. Oh, here he is. He is Decker. Karius was no better than Dubravka, and as I predicted, putting yet another new keeper behind that back four means they need to start all over again with belief and communication. Twaddle. Come on, Derek. The train with him every day of the week. You know, that's what I mean. I didn't see anything like that against Arsenal. I don't know about you guys, but I saw a very competent Karius and a very settled defense when the ball was played over the top. I didn't see any panic like there's normally been.
That there was no tactical issues with communication, or there were no issues that I saw at any point in the game. That there was no the link between goalkeeper and back four was fine. Set pieces were, well, they weren't fine because we conceded from them, but it wasn't Karius specifically. The link between him and the defense, I didn't see any issues. You're going to have to be more specific than that because it was fine. As a generic throwaway statement that you've made, is bringing in a new keeper potentially disruptive to the back four? Yeah. In this situation, that's not applicable. It's just a throwaway statement that doesn't apply to what we're watching. Like, that was fine. The goals were like what? The first one was Botman's fault, nothing to do with communication. They just all scrambled on him and tried to clear it. Yeah, you've got to look at it with context. There was nothing to do. Yeah, he was fine. The communication was fine.
I mean, Billy, we said numerous times during commentary that, you know, the balls that came over the top, if you look at the difference between what happened against Arsenal, they didn't break through us over the top because Karius came out and swept very well. You look at the previous games, the balls over the top, there's no goalkeeper there. He's very, very slow off his line. And I don't know whether it's slow, but he's very hesitant to make that decision to go. I don't know what it is. He's a stay-at-home goalkeeper for me, whereas Karius, he's out sweeping, very similar to what Nick Pope does. And I think that's why I prefer Karius in goal, because teams do try that ball over the top. And sometimes that ball over the top works when Dubravka's in goal, because we haven't got a goalkeeper out there. But as soon as Karius is there, he's clearing the ball into the stands.
Well, it's all about your perception of what's in front of you. I think reading the game is an important part of being a goalkeeper. And if you're reading the game and your starting position's good, which Karius's was on Saturday, Dubravka's never is because he is stuck to his line, then you're going to get better results from it. And I think Karius all round is a better goalkeeper than Martin Dubravka is because of that.
Yeah. I really want to see Karius in goal. I think the three of us do, to be honest. I think Dubravka's had his chance. You know, he's a good shot stopper. There's no doubt about that. But I think, you know, Karius deserves this opportunity. He deserves it.
Well, if we're talking about communication with the goalkeeper, I think Dubravka's shown that there is poor communication. There have been shouts that have been ignored. There have been times when goalkeeper should be coming to claim and doesn't. There's been 2, 3, 4 situations per game where there's been a disconnect between the keeper and generally the centre halves, and that didn't happen at all when Karius played. So honestly, it's exactly the opposite. And I feel like this is one of those things where it's going to upset people because I don't think it's an opinion-based thing. I think it's a fact-based thing. Find me a moment of disconnect between Karius and the back four, and I'll be quiet. But genuinely, like the own goal, is that miscommunication? No, that's defenders scrambling to clear off the line, and it just deflected. Like that's not poor communication. Yeah, that's all.
Andy K, thank you very much for your super chat. Much appreciated. There's no comment there, but thank you. Abs is super chatted. Thank you, Abs. I love this channel and always will. But I will dig my heels in to defend my position. Well, Abs, what I will say is never stop. All right. We'll always have a ding dong. But at the end of the day, if we come out of it like we have, then there's no problem, is there? You know, I have ding dongs with Alex a lot of the time, but you know, I still love the bloke. You know, everybody will have ding dongs at the end of the day. But Abs, listen, that's very kind of you to do, though. Very kind of you to say that, and never stop. Never stop being you. Absolutely not. That's part of who you are. You've got your opinions. And listen, Alex is just the same as you. And so is Billy to a degree. You know, once they have an opinion, they will stick to it. And by God, they will die on the hill with it. And that's what I like to see on this channel. So thank you, Abs. I know Abs has been with us a very, very long time as well. So credit to you for that. Greg says if we can get a decent result tomorrow night with our run of games ahead, I can't see why we cannot get 5th. I mean, Billy, we've got a good run of fixtures coming up in the Premier League, if there is such thing. We said that before Christmas, of course, before we took on Nottingham Forest, Luton, Bournemouth, etc. We said we had a good run of fixtures, and we picked up some points, but it wasn't exactly brilliant. But a win tomorrow night, score a few goals, and the confidence is suddenly back up. And we know what football can do. Confidence and football go together, and if you're confident, that doesn't half work out on the pitch as well.
I agree with the sentiment that we could get 5th. I'm just kind of worried that at some point, whether it's in the near future, well, it's got to be in the near future, Bruno's going to get booked. We're going to miss 2 games. Without Bruno, then I think we are up shit creek without a battle for 2 games, irrespective of who we play. But if he can keep clean and not get a yellow card, then yeah, I think 5th is a possible, although unlikely target. But it's possible, no doubt about it.
Yeah. Well, of course, we could face Maidstone in the next round. They're playing tonight. Yeah. Best of luck to Maidstone. Maidstone at St James's Park. I mean, look, I'm saying that sentimentally, but for Maidstone as well. I mean, Maidstone to come to St James's Park would be incredible tie for them. But for us, it would be incredible as well. But let's not forget Cambridge United.
Well, the FA Cup's been devalued this year. It's wrong that Maidstone are having to travel all the way from Kent to the Midlands on a Monday night. It's a Saturday competition. Why on earth are we not playing the FA Cup on a Saturday? Don't understand it. They've devalued it. There's no respect for it. I'm pig sick about it. And also the fact that half the games have got VAR and half of them haven't. Don't get it. It's not the same competition.
Yeah. Well, I think it devalues having the semi-finals at Wembley. I mean, we say this every single season, don't we? Yeah. There's big enough grounds to host the semi-finals away from Wembley.
It worked the year when Arsenal played Spurs at Wembley. It worked.
Yes.
Because obviously they're both London teams, but to then have it every season at Wembley since then, it doesn't make any sense to me.
No, I think they should see who the semi-finalists are and then work out a ground that accommodates both sets of fans. However, we know for a fact that fans aren't thought about. It's all about money making, and I don't know whether Wembley's still being paid for. Seems like it is, and it will do for a lot of years. So nothing's going to change very, very quickly with that. But hey ho. Mike says the Blackburn Cup game is a possible banana skin tomorrow night, and hopefully we turn up and get at it from the start. Indeed, every game is a banana skin for us at the minute. We know that, but there's got to be a time, Alex, where we put everything together. The way we play can't go on forever. And I think, and I hope as well that defeated Arsenal was the real rocket up their arse that they really needed to start pulling the fingers out, and we see a very different Newcastle tomorrow.
I don't think we're ready to get everything together and for everything to click. I don't think so. I think we'll see improvements and we'll see personnel changes, and I'm hoping it'll be a bit more positive. But I wouldn't expect, it's not just going to click. This is what happened at the start of the season. We started to get things to click when we'd still got your Joe Lintons, your Tenalis, and we were starting to, the 5-1 against Villa, and then we were looking really, really solid. Yeah. Frustrating losses against City and Liverpool, but things were starting to work. I wouldn't expect anything obviously like that. I think, it's not a point where we're nearly gelling. It's going to be, the gel was completely fallen off. It's just get 2 or 3 bodies back from injury. Make sure your centre halves don't mess up and are switched on. Retain the ball better, but it's back to basic stuff. It's fight for every second ball. It's retain the ball, choose your passes carefully, practice your passing sequences you do in training. This whole nasty streak as well that's been bandied around in the press conference. I mean, Eddie Howe's right to a point. You can't force that on players that don't have it. And a lot of our players that were quite aggressive aren't playing.
Yeah, but I think, Alex, there's been nasty and there's putting tackles in. I think that's the biggest disappointment about Saturday for a lot of fans, was the way we lost the game. The way we didn't put tackles in. Just because you
Sean needs to do
doesn't mean you're going to hurt somebody.
I mean, at the end of the day, for the whole, I mean, what's the word? Not the stigma, but the stereotype of the north of the northern hard man, as it were, the traditional sense of the word. You've got a smaller, slighter Brazilian man who likes to do a bit of dancing, who is thumping into tackles and is on 9 yellow cards, and you've got Sean, who is from the northeast, not putting challenges in. and obviously it does challenge the stereotype. And obviously stereotypes are generally nonsense, so it's irrelevant. But it's, you know, if you want to put the challenges in, you know, we need Miley, and I think Miley gets a little bit of a pass because of his age, but still we need a bit more oomph. If they haven't got the nasty streak, then fine. Obviously, we've not seen quite as much from Bruno recently because he's trying not to get booked. He's doing a really good job, may I add. So when necessary, he can focus and switch on and not lose his head. So he's done very well recently to do that. But, you know, yeah, we need a couple more players to step up. I think maybe Gordon needs to throw in some tackles, and because he's good at it. But we just need just take a yellow. We just need a few people to take control of the game. I'm not saying go out to hurt people. You know, we're not Wayne Rooney, but
no. But and I said that the other day. I said, you know, get some tackles in, get the physicality. And then some idiot made a comment saying, "Oh, you know, that's going out to hurt somebody is not the way to play football."
Yeah, there's a
difference, and I never
there?
said hurt somebody. Yeah. A good strong tackle does not mean that you have to hurt. So get the ball, but let them know you're there.
It's not even about hard tackles. It's about knowing when to shirt pull and when not to. It's about knowing when to disrupt the play and just be annoying. Like, it works. Man City do it. Arsenal do it. Arsenal rack up lots of fouls. Like, it's part of the modern game, and any advantage you can get at this level.
Maybe we need to see a bit of the Everton Anthony Gordon, you know, just in somebody's face.
Well, no, our version's actually good. So
yeah, no, with our version. So wind them up to the point where he puts them off the game and he skins them. You know, just a little bit of both.
And let's not forget he's only a booking away from the ban as well. So
that's very true. Yeah. Without Bruno and Gordon, that would be interesting. I've just watched the whole 90 minutes for the third time, says Derek. And Karius came 10 yards off his line once with no Arsenal players anywhere near, and once out of his box into a near empty third. Derek,
no,
I don't know whether you're on the wind-up, mate, but that's not true, because I can recall at least 5 times he came out to clear the ball. So you're talking
there was
nonsense,
an Arsenal player
mate.
Chasing it down in one of them that I can remember. So
yeah,
you've missed that one.
Come on. John says, well done, Abs. Well done, Paul. David says, Stato, would you bring... Oh, for God's sake. I'm not even getting...
No, the answer is no to that question.
Yeah, and we're moving on very quickly. Wolves 8, Spurs, they could eat us too. Kyle says, Alex, Billy and Paul, best Magpie info I've seen. Thank you very much, Kyle. Matt says, I completely agree regarding Karius. He has to start. Peter says, don't want to look back past Blackburn, but Wolves is going to be a very hard game. Well, we'll preview that one on Thursday night. We'll preview that one. It's match days all the way through this week. It's very, very busy. Garant says, so how many changes to the lineup would you like to see, boys? Midfield with standing. Well, we'll come on to that. Nathan says, Paul, I bet Alex almost had a fit when you were talking about the women's game, saying I wish he had a player for the men's team who would just turn and run at the opposition and try to take them on. Yes, it does sound a little bit like a certain ex-Newcastle winger, but Katie Barker actually has a finishing product about her. Anyway, Alex, we have graphics. Take it away, my man.
Yeah, so, I mean, I need to bring up the tactics board, but I was just going to have a look at Blackburn for a minute and have a look at how they're getting on for the season if people aren't following the Championship. So I've not followed much of the Championship this year, albeit more of the top end. Nice to see Annie's Bristol City, the most bang average mid-table side you could possibly imagine, because they are exactly 12th with 39 scored, 39 conceded with a 0 goal difference.
I'm sorry, Annie. I'm sorry.
Mid-table. Yeah, but that's positive. At least they're in the division.
Well, it really didn't. That didn't sound positive at all if you're a Bristol City fan.
Yeah, but it's just really
average team in the Championship.
But look, 12th with a 39-39 0 goal difference. You couldn't get much more just right in the middle, could you? Anyway, yeah. Blackburn is what we're talking about. So really interesting metrics here with 60 goals conceded, which is... Well, it's a lot of goals, isn't it? It's an awful lot of goals. I mean, I think it's the second most conceded in the division behind Rotherham, who are dead last. Yeah, it is. It's the second most in the division conceded. So they are conceding all of the goals, just all of them. And in terms of goals scored, pretty good. 48 scored, which is actually only one behind West Brom, who are in the playoff places. So scoring is not too much of an issue. They're all right with their output. It's more about... the leaky defense. They need to shore up shop because they are, I mean, that is pretty poor. And it's probably the reason why they're not closer to the playoffs, in all honesty, because what are they, 39 points? So, yeah, that's essentially caused it. How do they play? Well, they're a pretty dominant side. I say dominant. A lot of the offensive and sort of general possession statistics are all pretty high up, to be completely honest. So if I bring your attention to average possession, 6th highest in the championship. Big chances, 6th highest. Big chances missed, 3rd. You've also got accurate passes per match in 7th. So they're generally controlling games, at least controlling the ball to a point. So they've got a bit of quality about them. But then the defensive metrics, dear Lord, goals conceded per match, as I said, 2nd from last, 1.8 goals per match, 23rd worst in the championship. Clean sheets, 23rd as well. Really, really poor. There was another one that was really bad. I mean, accurate crosses is really low. It could just be the play style, to be completely honest. What else have we got? Successful tackles per match. They're top in the division. So a really weird mishmash. You know, 8th for interception and 1st for tackles. It's just a really peculiar mishmash of they're generally really good. They're really good at stuff, but then they're shocking defensively. But then a lot of their recent fixtures don't point to them being so bad defensively. If we actually go and have a look at some of their recent, I can see their recent games. Let's go back. So yeah, here you go. Recent games. So, I mean, they've not won since the Stoke game and the 10th of Feb. But what, they've conceded 1 at home to Norwich. They kept a clean sheet against Cardiff, shipped 2 against Preston, lost 1 against Birmingham. I mean, it's not terrible. They're not absolutely leaking goals like we are. So I think maybe that's been exacerbated a little bit on the data. Maybe it was earlier on in the season. I mean, I'm sure, I don't know if Annie's commented. I'm sure he's mentioned something about them. But previous games, when we're going, let's go to this one. So this is their most recent game against Norwich. So this was their lineup.
Alex, just about what we were talking about before the show. This is how I'm going to be on commentary tomorrow. Sammy something. Sammy Schmodic or whatever he's called. I will probably be calling him Sammy because we know what I'm like. Smodics. It's quite easy to say, but when you're at full pelt commentating, I have a feeling I might slip up with a few funny names. So we will see.
Yeah, so I mean, a proper championship or traditional side, completely, well, just destroying the use of numbers in the system by having their 8 up front and their 9 behind the 8 and the 10 on the right and just all over the shop. However, so Sammy Schmodics, yeah, a few people have mentioned him in the chat. So he is their big hitter. He's the guy that's got 18 goals in the championship. I mean, we can bring him up on FBref. Here he is. He's not Irish. He is Irish, but he's also Hungarian, so that's why he's got a funny name. So
he's not Irish, but he is Irish. Sounds very Irish.
He's a Hungarian Irishman or an Irish Hungarian. How would you say that? So he's 28. He's been around the block. He's an experienced forward. 18 goals, 3 assists in the championship. He's running a little bit hot, 15.4 xG. So, but he's still good for a decent amount of goals in the league from 32 appearances, 2,800 minutes. He's doing pretty well. And his metrics as a forward are really, really tasty at this level. Just bearing in mind, this is not against the top 5 leagues in Europe. This is against the men's next 14 competitions, including things like the MLS. So it does profile still really, really well. Progressive passes is tidy in carries. So he's very good. He's very good at link up. Shots total 2.78 is healthy. Defensive metrics are okay for a forward. And as you can see at the top of the graphic, he does take, he gets about attacking midfield, winger, forward, midfielder. So he slots in wherever he's needed. And then the actual man behind him, Sam Gallagher, is the 9, obviously next to Tyrese Dolan.
Tyrese, there, you see, I got his name right. Somebody just questioned me in the chat there saying, what's Dolan's first name? It's Tyrese. I got that one right.
So Sam Gallagher behind Sam Schmodics, not to be laughed at, another 28-year-old. So arguably 2 people in the peak of their powers age-wise. 6'4", quite a big bloke. He's not small. 3 goals, 2 assists, but he has only had 790 minutes, so considerably less time in the league. His defensive metrics are extremely good as a forward. However, I'm not sure he should be down as a forward because he's playing very much sort of behind. But yeah, they've got a lot of umph in this side. I do think Lascelles would be potentially a good pick for this game, to be completely honest. They've got a lot of physicality. They're going to give a lot more umph than other teams. In terms of how they're profiling, well, of course, they've got a back three with wing backs. Hopefully, if we can start controlling this game, we can turn that into a back five. I would hope.
Do you think do you honestly think that's the way they're going to line up tomorrow? Do you think they'll go with the wing backs again?
Yeah, oh yeah, massively. I mean, if we look at average positions, because Norwich are a good side as well. So the way it looked on paper is Tyrese, Schmodix, and Gallagher all very close to each other up that front. So ideally, the ball gets shipped and they try and do stuff with it. The two, who is the right-sided wing back, Callum Britton. So he's the guy, he's the runner. You can see in the average positions, he's the guy ready to spring the trap, maybe from goal kicks. You can see that the goalkeeper's average position favours the right side of his goal. So potentially they're just trying to ping that over as soon as they can. I mean, if there's any Blackburn fans around, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what it looks like. So it's, it's a really nice shape. You've got that sort of back four, the two in the middle, the three that are going to try and be absolute lumps. You've got the wing back who's doing most of it. The other one looks like he obviously stays set a lot more. So you can see what they're about. I mean, how does this translate to who we're going to have on the pitch? So that's going to be against our left back. So whoever's going to be on our left side is going to be what? I mean, it could be a few options. So you're looking at, we're going to end up playing Burn as a centre half on the left side, and then a Hall or a someone possibly.
I mean, he could, in theory, he could actually leave Cher and Botman out tomorrow and play Lascelles and Burn as centre backs. I mean, that wouldn't be beyond.
I mean, it's not beyond the realms of possibility for Dummett or Emil Kraft to get appearances in this game. To be completely honest, I mean, I'd be surprised, but it's possible. But yeah, so those are those two. What else were we going to look?
By the way, somebody just put in the chat a while ago saying, "Why are you looking at the opposition? We all know what can happen in the FA Cup. It's called a match preview." I don't know whether you've understood what the basis of a match preview is, but we look at the opposition and then we look at ourselves and see what we could possibly line up as. Dear, oh dear.
Yeah, so goals. It's Sammy. It's basically Sammy. Sammy's not on the pitch. They're not scoring as many goals. He's got a lot of goals. Of course, they have lost. I think it is worth shouting out. Where's he gone? I've lost him. Adam Wharton, there he is, 3 assists. Billy knew exactly who I was talking about. They have lost Adam Wharton, the starlet that we did 3 transfer shows on, and then we didn't buy him. He ended up going to Palace. So
I think that's why their possession stats are so high, because he was in the side, but obviously he's not there now. So,
I mean, that is a great shout. I didn't think about that. Potentially, they were a lot better at controlling games with Adam Wharton in the side. He was a player beyond his years, and that's why he's been picked up for a Premier League side halfway through the season. Yeah, I think they will play very differently. I mean, looking at the average lineup against the average positions against Norwich, you can see that that's very much changed to use a fast wing back, have big lumpy people and then some fast people around them. It's very old school. It looks very disciplined. The shape looks very good. I mean, I forgot what's the manager's name. I've completely forgotten. John Eustace. That's the one.
Alex, Nick's asking, is tomorrow a good time to try Trippier as a 6? With Tino at right back and Hall or Burn on the left.
Sorry, I've just noticed that Ashley Barnes went to Norwich. I didn't realise that. But no, I don't think I would like to see Trippier as a 6. I wouldn't be opposed to him being part of a midfield overall, but not as a lone 6. And even then, I think it's a stretch. I think he's a right back. I think he needs to just be used sparingly as a right back. But yeah, no, I wouldn't try that. I would still keep to what we generally do. Yeah. Well,
do you want to show the viewers what Newcastle United's predicted lineup is according to?
Yeah. So this is what SofaScore think the predicted lineups are going to be for both sides. So they think it is going to be very similar, if not, I think that is the same lineup for Blackburn. For Callum Britton being the fast wing back, up to Dolan, Gallagher, and Schmodix, and then for us, SofaScore have gone with this. So a very much not rotated back 4. Well, I guess Dan Burn coming in is a rotation, but no sign of Hall, Tino, Lascelles, Kraft, nobody like that in the predictions from SofaScore.
They've even got Willock and Longstaff on the wrong side. Christ almighty.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Maybe I need to give them a shout.
No Gordon there either, guys. I mean, it's.
Yeah, Barnes, Isak, Murphy. I think it's fairly on the head further up the pitch, but obviously, as Billy said, Willock will be left side, Longstaff will be right side. Is he going to drop Miley for this game? Possibly. I think this is wrong though. The back four, I think there's going to be massive surprises in the back four. You've got like Lascelles, Kraft, Dummett, Tino, Hall. I reckon a few of them get in at least.
Well, Roy comes. Roy, good evening to Roy. I want Longstaff's name as the first on the team sheet tomorrow. Call it a last chance. Blackburn are on his level, and if he doesn't perform, then Willock must replace him in the team.
I mean, that's a fair shout.
I've seen a lot of people say they don't want Longstaff playing tomorrow. They'd rather have Miley. But I don't know. I don't think Eddie can. I don't think Eddie can honestly make too many changes, though. He's got to be careful here because I mean, obviously he did it at Man United in the Carabao, and we brushed Man United aside. It was incredible, but we're not playing that well at the minute. So, yes, a few changes, but he's got to be very careful as well.
Yeah, but he tends to rotate quite a lot in these sorts of games, doesn't he? I mean, earlier on in the rounds, I mean, if you look at the early Carabao Cup fixtures, we did fine. We rotated very heavily against Man U and City, and we beat both of them. So,
but like I say, we're not playing well enough at the minute, I don't think, to justify a whole sort of mass change. And
I think the fact we're not playing well enough.
Well, maybe that could be a reason. Yeah. Terry said here, don't put half a side out. Why are you saying put Burns and Lascelles in at centre-half? 2 games from Wembley and you want to leave our best centre defenders out? Come on, we haven't won anything since 69. I kind of do agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're not wrong there.
But the problem
is
that's
we need to
bring up the situation with Botman, because the way Eddie spoke about Botman in the press conference was that I think he still feels that Botman is still injured. I really do get that feeling that he hasn't fully recovered from the injury. And the fact that he played those 2 games with an ACL has made this situation a whole lot worse than it should have been, Billy.
Well, obviously, yeah. Again, rushed back because it was demanded. And we kind of got soft-soaked into believing he was okay, but clearly he's not. And Eddie alluded to it today. It's it's not good. I don't think it's good for the medical team, and I don't think it's good for the manager, if I'm perfectly honest. Playing players that are not fit, and especially as we're performing pretty well defensively with Cher and Lascelles together. I know Lascelles got injured, but it's another one of those things that Eddie's done wrong, in my opinion.
What are we doing, guys? What are we doing? Something like this? Is Trippier starting this game?
I'd play Livramento at right back and Hall at left. That would be my side.
Is that Hall? That's Hall. Excuse me, guys.
That would be my side, and maybe Miley for Longstaff. But
my body went into shock putting Lewis Hall on the pitch. I don't think it.
So you don't think Gordon's going to play?
No, I think he gets a rest.
See, I'm not Lewis Hall. I'm just not sure about anymore. I'm really not sure about the fact that he's never brought him off the bench recently. Says massive things to me.
Does Richie start this game somewhere in some capacity?
No, no.
I really tried him earlier on this season. I don't want Richie starting. I love Matt Ritchie, but I don't particularly want him starting this game.
I think Howard might make the bench start.
Yeah, that is a fair shout. Do we have him anywhere around here? No,
well, Ange without an E says Eddie needs to start taking risks. And I agree with that, but to a certain... I don't want him taking too many risks to the detriment of losing the game. I mean, look, we should be winning this game. We should be, but it's... I don't think he does too much. We know what Eddie's like. I mean, this is a huge game.
Although actually, thinking about it, would like to see Miley in for Longstaff. I think I want to
Miley
see
in for Longstaff.
A lot of people saying Miley needs a rest, though. Is that a case? Miley, he's played a lot of games for a 17-year-old.
Well,
is this an opportunity to rest?
I'll give Longy a rest tomorrow, and I'll play him on Saturday. But I think we need to control the ball tomorrow. And I think with those 3 in the middle of the park, Blackburn don't see a lot of the ball.
Do I have a Karius somewhere?
Yeah, Karius has to start for me.
I don't have a Karius, so we're going to have to make a Karius. Not prepared for the cup game at all, guys. It's got our Prem side out right. Dubravka, you go sit on the bench, or maybe I'm not making Gillespie as a graphic. I'm sorry. I'm not.
Well, if Dubravka's still there, they'll be on the bench, won't he?
I'm not writing Gillespie's name. I'm just not doing it.
Put Mark down.
Just put Mark.
Mark, yeah. Yeah.
So is that like most likely? We thinking a bit harsh on Kraft because he's played centre half this year. He's played fullback. He's been really solid.
Well, I mean, if Livramento had minutes, I'd have played Kraft at right back, but he hasn't had any minutes apart from Saturday, so I think Livramento needs to play. But otherwise, I'd have had Kraft in.
Yeah, listen, I can see the points here, but I don't think there's a chance in hell that's our back four tomorrow night.
What do you think?
I honestly,
what do you think?
Well, I think it'll be. Well, possibly Lascelles coming in, but if I'm honest, I think he'll probably go with. I think he'll go with Trippier, Schär, and Botman again. I honestly do.
I don't know why Schär's got arms either. I don't know how I keep doing that.
Well, yeah. And I just do not think Lewis Hall starts. As much as we'd all love to see it, and me included, there's something not right there with the Lewis Hall situation, and I don't think he starts. I think he could come on tomorrow, but I think for me it'll be either Livramento or Burnett left back, Botman, Schär, and Trippier. I just do not see him making complete changes to the back four because this is a huge game, and we need to win this game. And I don't think he will change the whole back four. If it was a Carabao Cup, I'd be looking at it a bit differently, but this is the FA Cup, and I think
technically it's not the whole back four because Schär and Livramento played in the last game, so technically it's half.
You just had Burn there.
Yeah, I've swapped it though because this is also something he does. He's also had.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I could see
really
Lascelles taking Botman's place because if Botman's not at the races, but I don't see Trippier not starting, and I don't see Lewis Hall starting.
Fabian Schär had a great little stint as a left-sided centre half earlier on in the season.
He did, yeah.
He did, yeah.
But I can't see it. I can't. I think the only legitimate one I can see how doing is bringing Lascelles in for Botman. I see Trippier at right back and either Hall or Livramento or Burnett left back. I don't think he's going to risk that changing it all. I don't think he will. I honestly don't.
And also with Blackburn having the physical players, I mean, the back three of Carl McFadzean and Dominic Hyam and the other fellow Wharton, they're all pretty tall blokes, and set pieces could be crucial. So I think we do need to have some kind of physicality in the back four.
Mm.
Are they all that tall?
I mean, McFadzean's he turns slower than that thing that was caught in the River Nile the other year. that canal barge thing, but
yeah,
he's a very physical player. He's got.
Was it Cov? That's why you know who he is.
Yeah,
he's 37 as well.
And so was Hyam. Yeah, so was.
He's been around a while.
He's 6'1". He looks like he's played for Coventry.
He's a meathead.
6'1" is quite tall to a lot of small people. Alex, you should know that.
All of his tattoos are spelt wrong. Typical Coventry.
Although his aerial win rate's not particularly good, considering
he scored lots of goals for Coventry at set pieces. Definitely.
Who else they got? Scott
Dom
Warren.
Dom Hyam's also ex-Coventry.
That's yeah. Dom Hyam is 6'2". I mean, he's not even got a picture. They don't like him. He's Scottish. Okay, he does win everything in the air.
Hang on a minute. Can I just pick you up on that, Alex? And the way you said that, he's Scottish.
Yeah,
as if it's a bad thing.
It's purely the Elliot thing.
No argument from me.
I mean, the last thing I just want to check is Scott Wharton, is that Adam Wharton's brother?
I'm sure it is.
You would imagine it is, wouldn't you? Yeah, it looks like him. It's got to be. Oh, he's 26. He's not the youngster. Oh God.
He's Scottish.
Oh God. Oh God. He's a centre half. But he's 5 foot. He's 5'9.5". You can't play centre half being that height. Surely not in the Championship.
Paul Park was 5'6" and played it in the World Cup semi-final.
He did indeed, Billy.
Yeah, but not nowadays. People are absolute monsters. I mean, I guess he's just a fullback who's playing a centre half in this system. Yeah, Annie, please shed some light on this. Why is a 5'9" man playing as centre half? That's illegal. Surely.
Alex, that is a very sizest opinion, by the way.
I'm 5'9.5". I would.
You are not 5'9.5".
I'm exactly the same.
You would love to be 5'9.5".
I would not. I am.
What? When you're on stilts?
I would not play centre half. Absolutely no chance.
Good. When you wear your platforms, maybe, Alex. Yes, but come on. Paul Parker was a left back, but he did play centre back on quite a lot of occasions.
And actually, Tom was a right back. I don't want to be.
Well, he was a right back, yes. And he said he's a centre back. He's quite good as well. So
he's probably very good with the ball, yeah. But I'm just thinking height wise. I mean, again, he's not exactly against a centre forward that's particularly good in the air because despite Isak being 6'3", he doesn't win headers. So,
Alex, Scotland have turned on you, man. Mike says, "What, Alex? What's the matter with those Scots?
Just stop trying to take Elliot Anderson." So
Ben said he sounded disgusted. What is wrong with Scotland?
How tall's Lisandro Martinez, by the way? How tall's he?
Yeah, he's not a very tall centre back, is he?
Oh yeah, because he's not been caught out a bunch of times.
He's good at cutting steaks, though. Apparently,
he is 5'10". He's left-footed. He gets a free pass. If you're this is it. If you're left-footed, you just get in, don't you? Both of these players that we're talking about are left-footed. It seems to be the way. If you're reasonably good at football, have good technical ability, and you're left-footed, you're just in straight away.
Yeah. Michael says Alex in his high heels, the best centre back in a black and white shirt. Ian says,
no, we're not having this narrative that I'm small, by the way. Paul's trying to push this, and people. When we were at the match, when we were at pre-season, people took pictures of me next to Paul in the lasers end.
People took pictures of me and Alex and me waving at him from down below. That sounded wrong.
Every time I visit, people come up to me and go, "You're not small. What's he talking about?" Every time I visit, because he's created this narrative.
Alex is the same height as me virtually, but if you cut his hair off, it'd be about 5'3".
Yeah, but the thing is, Alex, you are small to me. You know, I'm about
because you're like 6'5". Everyone's small to you.
Well, yeah.
You should be playing centre half for Blackburn.
Why for Blackburn?
He's not Scottish. You can't.
I'm not Scottish.
Oh no, you're not Scottish.
Love to Scotland. Jam Stashy says Danny DeVito would make a great centre back. That's unfortunate on Danny DeVito. Look, poor man. Listen, he's made a good career out of being small.
Gary Coleman.
Gary Coleman, yeah. Wacky says Alex was standing on the seat in that picture, though.
I absolutely wasn't. See, Kev knows it. I was standing on steps.
Yeah, either way.
No, it's because somebody caught me looking taller than you, but it's because I was on the next step.
Well, that's just simply impossible, of course. We know that. Right. It is lineup prediction time from us. Now, again, we'll go with what we want to see on the pitch, not necessarily what Eddie Howe is going to do, because if we're being honest, we don't have a Scooby-Doo what's going through Eddie's mind at the minute of who's going to play. So, Billy, what's your lineup for tomorrow?
Loris in goal. I'd play Livramento at right back. Lascelles, Cher, Hall.
Coventry scored, by the way, against Maidstone.
I couldn't hear the cheer. Mind you, saying that, it's like a vacuum.
Yeah, you've got to have someone in the stadium to hear the cheer, Billy. It's Coventry.
Fair finish, to be fair. Where did they get to? Midfield. Bruno's in the 6th this time, with Miley and Willock. And then up front, I'll go Barnes, Isak, and Murphy.
Interesting. By the way, I've just seen Dom's comment. Vernon Anita was a giant compared to Stato.
Strange arse, yeah, didn't he? He had a vacuum Sterling arse, didn't he?
Yes, I quite liked Anita, especially with not a right back.
You know,
sorry, no, let's not go there. Used to are disgraceful at times. Does Stato manage to squeeze under the turnstiles? Alex, what's your lineup?
Karius at the back. Are we doing what I want to see or what?
Yeah. What's your team?
I would want to see a back four of Hall, Cher, Lascelles, and Livramento, which is what I put on earlier. Although I wouldn't be overly disappointed if Kraft starts. Bruno is the 6 with Willock next to. I'm going to agree with Roy on this. I think it's put up or shut up for Sean Longstaff. Sean's got something to prove now. That was shocking. He needs to fix it. Give him the chance on the pitch. So Bruno with Willock left 8, Longstaff right 8. And then I think Barnes has got to start. We need to keep getting minutes in his legs. We need to get him up to full match fitness for the Premier League. This is a great opportunity to do that. So Barnes left wing. Yep. Isak up top. He's going to need to be rotated, but still he needs to start. Murphy on the right for a start. And then it means you've got Gordon and Miggy on the bench to come on and fill holes with whoever's tired and could go and swap. That'd be my starting 11.
Okay. Dan says weird because looking at the webcams, you'd think Paul is the shortest. You know, you'd be very surprised how many people do come up to me at the games and say, "Bah, you look taller than you do on YouTube." And I'm thinking, really? I just no.
Can I just mention something? I think we've all kind of left Gordon off. We think that's a dead cert that Gordon's going to get arrested.
Well, excuse me, but I haven't given you my team yet.
Okay, well, watch him put Gordon in. I should have waited till he'd done it.
Mick J says a serious podcast. Yet the banter between you lot is magic. Takes the worry out of the next match. Thank you very much, Mick. Very kind of you to say so. My team is Karius, Trippier, Shea, Lascelles, and Livramento. In the midfield, I want to see Miley, Willock, and Bruno. Up front, Gordon on the right, Barnes on the left, and Isak through the middle.
What was your back four again?
Trippier, Shea, Lascelles, and Livramento.
So you want that?
Put on.
So that's what you want, yeah?
Yeah. And I think go and bury them in the first half, and then you can make some changes early second half to bring some subs on. I think the thing first and foremost, go and win the game, get it done, and then make some changes and give some people some minutes. Simple as that.
Fair enough.
Not bad.
I just think it's important to go out and win the game. That's all. I just want to see us win the game rather than have to bring subs on in the second half to try and claw the game. What are you laughing at?
2-0 Coventry.
Sorry, it was just a very Michael Owen comment, but then you made it make sense in the second half. So I think it's very important to win the game.
2-0 Coventry.
No. See, before that's not
the second half made sense. It's fine.
Exactly.
So I'd like to see Haverson get some minutes as well.
Yeah, but win the game first. Get it won.
Yeah, definitely.
So we're not bringing subs on in the second half for to try and get an equaliser or something like that. And don't wait till the 65th, 70th minute to do it. If we're 2-0, 3-0 up.
Yeah, you just said, get like 3 goals in the first half, and then we can bring on like Hearns and Harrison, and we can actually have a look at these players. That'd be amazing. Yeah. And we can get some minutes in people's legs. We can bring off Bruno straight away with 3-0 up. We need to go and score early goals, and then we can.
I genuinely think if that 11 goes out there tomorrow, they are way, way, way better than Blackburn, and hopefully, fingers crossed.
It's not always about being better, though, is it?
No, it's not. But what I'm saying is,
turn up.
Yes, but the quality of players, that's what I'd do to go and get the game won, and then we can give people some minutes in the second.
But even the quality of players, I think we're overlooking Blackburn. Look what Luton did to us in the first game we played against them. They didn't win through quality; they won through just sheer desire of winning, getting the first. Ball. So Blackburn can do similar. If these lads turn up as the old school turn up as a Premier League team, and you're not ready for the rough and tumble of a Championship side. It's not even just about the quality. We've got to give it the physicality as well.
Absolutely. Right, let's finish the show with score predictions. Get them in the chat, guys. Alex, we'll start with you tonight for your prediction.
Right, well, I predicted a 3-0 loss against Arsenal, and I wasn't far wrong, but I hate predicting losses. So, and I damn straight shouldn't be predicting for one tomorrow. I'm going to go the reverse. I'm going to predict we're going to win 3-0. I think we're good for 3 goals. I think we'll score 2 in the first half. I think Bruno's going to get 1. I think Barnes will get on the score sheet, and I think Isak will get 1 as well. It will be 2 in the first half, 1 in the second, and then I'm hoping we actually keep a clean sheet for once.
Well, I'm going 4-0 tomorrow. I think we're going to trounce them. I think they're going to turn up. I think it's going to be a fantastic night for Newcastle. Isak's going to bag a couple of goals. Barnes and Gordon will get 1 each as well. We will 4-0. Stick that negativity up your ass. So I think we're just going to completely dominate the game. Billy?
Yeah, I want us to take control of the ball and have lots and lots of quality possession, which I think with our quality we should do. I think we'll win convincingly. I think we'll win 4-0 also. And I think an Isak hat-trick's on the card because Kyle McFadden's in. Christ, I'm quicker than him. He's 37. He's slow. He's a hoofer. And Isak will just take the piss out of him. So I'm thinking 4-0.
Well, yeah, listen, I'd also take a 1-0 off somebody's arse. I don't care. As long as we get through the tie, I just want us in the next round into the quarter.
We need a lot of ball to feet to Isak tomorrow. We need to get Isak in the game. We need to get him playing football, not with his back to goal, because he's better. He is better as a wide forward. Give him time.
Barnes and Gordon on the wings, Alex, he's going to get that opportunity. You know, he'll have a
Barnes is happy to bomb forward and be the furthest player. So is Gordon. So,
and we've seen he's tackling up with both of them really well. But we'll
watch us all be wrong and Miggy starts.
Oh, you know what a lovely way to end the show.
Jared Gillette's the referee, by the way.
Oh God, he's terrible, Billy.
Well, they all are. He doesn't matter who could have said anyone.
Jared, I bet he calls it. You know what? I bet when he's chatting women up, he goes, "The name's Jared Gillet." It's Jared Gillett. You fart. Anyway, there you go, guys. That is the match preview done and dusted. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Obviously, me and Billy will be back tomorrow, 7:15 start for the Match Day live show. Kickoff is 7:45. Alex will obviously join us at halftime and full time as per usual. All the usual Match Day live stuff will be happening. It is subscriber only again, so if you're not a subscriber, you won't be able to take part in the chat. But why would you not want to be a subscriber is the question. But thank you very much for all your super chats and new memberships. Thank you to the mods, Billy and Alex. Thank you. And the big thanks goes to you guys as usual. Thank you so much for your company tonight. And we'll see you again 7:15 tomorrow for the FA Cup game. Blackburn Rovers, Newcastle United. Can we make the quarterfinals? Hopefully so. Yes, Alex?
I'm jumping unloaded after. So if people want to see me talk about general football with other people, I'm unloaded. So there you go, everyone.
There you go. Good night, folks.
Away to lads and lasses.
All right, eat pies.
Come back and check out some green.